That felt like a summer blockbuster movie. All right, this is a special Richie Bello Live. It is Tuesday, May 20th. Welcome to the show. As always, I am Lee Wolf, hopefully, and next to me is Mr. Richie Bello. And today we have a special guest with us. We should have a couple, but we're having a little technology issue at the moment. But Dr. Gabbert, sorry, the Director of Product Development and the Chief Science Officer of Cell Power Sport, which is our topic of the day. How you guys doing?
Great.
Very good.
You know, Lee, and I want to say something. I'm very grateful for Cell Power. A lot of people, the reason I'm having this podcast, a lot of dealer audience told me, who is this company that they're giving tickets to the automotive business? And what does that have to do? And I said, I'm so glad you brought that up. In car sales, you need energy. And what is your first wealth is your health. So I'm grateful that our friend Jeff Cohen reached out to me years ago and told me, Richie, I have this product. Take a look at it, what you think. And I started taking it first to see if it really worked before I put the product out there. Wow, what a game changer. And all I got to say is thank you to Cell Power. We became one of their investors. And now, really, really, my life has totally changed. I mean, it's unbelievable. And that being said, I'm going to put myself on mute and give the stage to the doctor.
All right. Well, we also have Jeff Cohen potentially popping in. We'll see. And we've had him on the show before. He's a great guest and has a lot of knowledge on Cell Power as well. But yeah, Doctor, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from, how you got here.
Okay. Chiropractic doctor, graduated in 1982. And when I first got into practice, I realized that just making a chiropractic adjustment wasn't enough. I needed to look at diet, look at nutrition, supplementation, started getting involved with nutraceuticals, doing blood work, saliva, urine. I opened up a vascular clinic, hired some medical doctors, and we set out to treat a variety of cardiovascular diseases using a complementary model. And that took me really deep into nutraceuticals, how to formulate. I've also had a chance to work for a very large manufacturer of nutraceuticals just for doctors. They hired me to come on board and to train doctors on how to integrate natural medicine into their traditional practices. And so I had a chance to naturally learn from that manufacturer how to formulate. Where do you purchase raw ingredients? How do you combine these to get maximum benefit? And so that's part of my background. We were pioneers back in the 80s and 90s. We're asking a lot of questions. Today's we've a lot more answers than what we did back then. Cell Power Sport, the high energy peptides were introduced to me probably going back now, 12 to 15 years. I've been familiar with products here, working with the doctor or the company that distributes it. And so I've seen what it can do around the world. And as most doctors, we're approached by a gazillion manufacturers out there with so many products. And a lot of them are great products. This was one that when they came to me, they said, would you try this on a few of your patients and see how it works and give us some feedback?
Yeah.
And so just like Richie, that's what I did. I started giving it to people, and I was amazed at how many things a single product could do.
Yeah. And I want to actually, let me take 30 seconds and just play a quick video for you. And then I do want to pick your brain a little further on the details of what people are getting from this. All right, so I am in no way a doctor or a scientist, although I play one on a podcast. The mitochondria. So from what I'm understanding, and I've been doing some more reading, that 90% of an athlete's cellular energy is produced on the mitochondria level. I saw Richie start taking these supplements, and instantly, every day, not instantly, but over the course of a few weeks, he started to talk about, I don't understand why I have so much energy. I don't know why I'm performing so much better in the gym. I'm feeling so great. I'm getting stronger. The weights are going up higher, this, that. What is it on that mitochondrial level that's happening to people? If you could take that further.
You know how I like to explain it very simply. People come to me naturally because I'm a doctor, and they'll start telling me about their health problems. We have athletes coming to us asking us, "Hey, can you help me with this or help me with that?" What I usually do is I take out my cell phone and I say, you know, the human cell is very much like your cell phone. They both come with batteries.
Hmm.
I charge my cell phone every day, otherwise my phone won't work. The same thing happens to the human cell. You have to recharge it every day. It just so happens that in the human cell, the batteries are what we call the mitochondria, these little organelles that make all the energy, that creates all of the function, and you got to recharge those on a daily basis. You actually get 3 chances to do that. It's called breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So a lot of the foods that we eat hopefully contain some nutrients that help to feed the mitochondria, so it has the ability to make the ATP that runs everything. It turns the light on, turns the equipment on.
Right.
That's how power sport does. It's like plugging your cells into cell power sports, like plugging your cell phone into a recharger. And so that's really why this product works so well. The peptides that are in this, I like to call them high energy peptides. Your mitochondria is the perfect fuel for the mitochondria. It needs to make energy, it needs peptides, and it needs sugar to do that.
Wow.
To combine those two things together, they're actually bonded together. We're not mixing two things together. We're actually bonding the sugar to the peptides. That's what makes this a high energy peptides. This is the type of fuel that the cell needs, the mitochondria needs, and it makes energy just like that. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that makes a lot of, I want to welcome Jeff Cohen to the show. How you doing, Jeff?
I don't think he can talk.
You can't hear us. All right. We'll try sign language in a bit. Yeah. So Richie, I mean, you saw this unbelievable change, and what the doctor here is talking about makes a lot of sense, because I think of it like I eat something, it burns in my stomach, and I'm burning this fire, and then I'm just like, I'm getting all this energy, and that's how it works. But on a cellular level, recharging your cells, I know you've been feeling it.
And it's that crazy energy. What I got to say about that, I get up and I got my guy here, Levon. Levon, say hello.
Yeah.
I get up at 1:30 while Levon's deep asleep. I go to sleep at 8 o'clock. I get up. I go to the gym. I take a ride to Platt, and it makes me focus. Lee has been with me 7 years. Gene Fontana. They've seen the focus that I have totally different. It's not energy. You know those pills that make you lose weight that used to be drops, Fen or something. That made you crazy energy. This makes me focused and determined. I get more accomplished daily. So I'm doing this event, and everybody says, "Wow, what energy you got!" I walk around with kids. Okay, I walk around with 30, 35-year-old. You know, like Lamar over here, kid. Okay, kid. Okay. Kid at heart and kid at age, and they drive me crazy, and they take my energy and take me down. They think they do. I wear them down, because when they're sleeping, I'm working, and when they are trying to go to sleep, I got tons of energy. So at the event, I had a big cigar event, and dealers were telling me, "Hey, Richie, why do you have so much energy?" I said, "Well, I have espresso, but I'm taking these pills. I'm taking 5 or 6 because I drink espresso. But espresso gives you energy and you crash. This energy keeps me going all day. So in the event, I have this energy that's crazy, right? That I'm really, really able to accomplish a lot. Like right now, we came from what? Well, were we Tampa? Now we're almost halfway to Orlando. So I sent out a video to the dealers, right, with the Hyatt, and I said, "Forget about it. This is, hey, you crazy bastard, are you gonna be out there at the event?" I said, "Not only that, I'm gonna go see you in Orlando. Okay, how's that? All right." So that's what I do, right? And they're saying, "How do you come up with this energy?" And I took a video with the kid of the Mazda store yesterday. We posted it. He knew me when I was like 400 and something, when I was actually in Orlando with ShopSmart, when I had met at the beginning stages. I met Jeff, and Jeff had that idea of this product. And the kid says, "Richie, how did you lost this kind of weight?" I said, "By not eating that much, but really by going to the gym." And what this Cell Power has done is brought my discipline performance to the next level. Now, I have a friend named Arthur Early that works out all the time. He's a muscle guy. He's this. What Arthur Early tells me that he's noticed about it, he says, Richie, what it does, it makes me stay at the gym longer. It creates me to stay at the gym longer. Well, I used to go to the gym an hour, and I'm able to stay 2.5 hours and 3. It makes me be there longer. So I have another friend, local in town, Chris, that he did a video about him working out. And he says, what it does to me, it gives me energy, but it makes me stay longer. I wanted to get out of here in an hour and a half. And it makes me have that discipline, right? So what is motivation? I can motivate the audience now to tell them a motivational speech, but how are they going to accomplish anything? By discipline. Without discipline is the driving force. When motivation is over, you go to these seminars, you get motivated, great. But how do you keep going with discipline? And that's what Cell Power does, not only to Richie, but I can mention 5 or 6 names. So the guys at the event and the dealers at the event are asking around, like, what is this? What is this? What is that? I carry around 3 or 4 bottles with me all the time. And now in the event, what interests somebody is when a company sponsors an event that we're actually giving away tickets to kids that are salespeople that need the help, right? So now the dealers are asking, what is this? Who owns this? What does this do? I said, well, I'm an investor here, So Jeff is a good friend of ours. Jeff reached out to me and said, Richie, what do you think about this? And we all like it. Lee has been in my life now 7 or 8 years. Lee's seen, Richie be like, tons of fun. And then he's seen Richie be like crazy. And then he's seen Richie be stable. There's a lot of things he's seen. So that's why this Cell Power, these testimonials, and the most important thing about Cell Power is that I'm making a blueprint of what you should do if you weigh what I weighed and how I accomplish it. I'm totally disease-free, nothing. And that's what my medical doctor wants to get on the podcast when I get back there. And he wants to explain to the audience, not only did he lose the weight, has no diseases. I don't know if that's tied into Cell Power or what, but it's really a miracle to me, to my team. Something happened. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it happened.
Yeah, well, if the good doctor wouldn't mind here, take us a few steps further on some of the, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word cures. You correct my, but it's curing ailments or helping with ailments as well, right?
With Richie, your background is that one of the things I saw that you had type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes tells us that your body was in a state of insulin resistance. Now, when that happens, the sugar from your diet has a hard time getting into the cells. And therefore, the cells start to power down because they're not getting the fuel to power up. So your body was starting to power down all over the place, especially mentally. And so what we've done with the Cell Power Sport is we've brought to the cell a peptide. Now the cells instantly recognize the peptide. But in your case, it wasn't recognizing the sugar, and the cell can run on peptides, but it prefers both the peptides and the sugar to make the energy. So it's kind of like a Trojan horse. We brought a peptide to your cells.
Oh, audio's gone. We lost your audio, doctor. Do you hear us? We can't hear you. Can you hear us? Yeah, lost the audio, but just maybe do that trick you did earlier. Try that trick again. I don't know if he hears us. Can't hear you. Try to jump out and jump back in. We'll let you back in. How you doing, Jeff?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Where are you taking us today?
Well, I'm coming back from a graduation for one of my grandkids, heading back to the house. So
Awesome.
I'm listening to Richie and his story. I know the doctor well in terms of what type of product and what research and what the benefits are for for people, no matter what shape they're in, and not necessarily an athlete only.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's performance based. So it could carry into any part of your day, not just when you're in the gym.
Well, I wasn't an
Exactly.
athlete at all,
I'm
so it
sorry.
helped me. It helped me. I live by this thing.
Yeah.
Whatever it did the right thing by me.
Yeah. I know you believe in it because I see the bottles coming in, and um, I'm not used to you sticking to any one track. You're always trying the next thing until you find the thing that works. But I've seen you
Right.
sticking with this, Richie.
It does work, man. It didn't.
Well,
It did something
the
for me.
interesting thing, the interesting part of all of this, and as Richie has proven, is that the product is actually addressing two of the most important things that are going on right now in nutritional supplements, peptides, these high energy peptides, as the doctor started to discuss, but also the mitochondria. We all learned about the mitochondria, and if you remember back in elementary school, these little funny looking jelly bean type of things running around in your body, but they're the powerhouses of your body and your cells.
Yeah.
And whether you're a car salesman or whether you're a high school athlete or a college athlete or a retired person working out, keeping their body, we all we all work under the same sun, and the same energy is needed. So, we combined in Cell Power Sport the ability for your powerhouse, the mitochondria, to be energized, powerized, right? So it could fuel the cells in order for you to, you know, perform better and also play better and recover better. So
Right.
whatever, Richie, what you're finding out and what you're living is you're getting the energy in your body, which is helping motivate you, and as well as the discipline to stay at it and give more to it, rather than working 30 minutes and you're done. You
Right.
tucker. So, and you're the poster child of what has been positive about using Cell Power Sport. You know, a non-athlete using it to get through the day, get through life, get through losing weight on the rebound to becoming something even stronger.
While building business, while under stress, while
Yep.
all these things. Yeah, it's been unbelievable. I mean, I've watched this man fight wars, but this has been a very different Richie.
Well, and the
Um,
Yeah,
other thing
and
I
you're
gotta say is the car business, right? This event, a lot of guys with the cigar event and all that they were talking about it, this, that. But the biggest thing that I said is what is one of the problems in the automotive sector? And Lee was in it for a short time. Lunch, okay? You can't really have lunch in the showroom. They have these little things. Some guys have lunch in the car, so they're speeding their lunch because the stress level is so high,
yeah,
right? You're
that's
looking at a
terrible.
customer come in, you're swallowing, actually swallowing a hero as big as all three of us.
Yep.
Okay. Now that is destroying them. So now in the automotive sector, there's a lot of health promotion. Why is there a lot of health? Because the average car guys are dying at 50, 55. This year, I lost 7 to 8 car guys that actually, I at least saw a picture of one guy that was 40 years old because of that behavior that's going on. So now the
Hmm.
dealers that I communicate with in this event, it's going to be a real game changer because we got a lot of audience there and it's all about the health.
Yeah.
So what is your first wealth is your health. Your second wealth is your social media presence. Your third one is your financial. Your fourth one is what you're going to leave for your family, right? So the first one is where the problem is in the automotive sector. At the dealer level, the OEM level, no, but the dealer level, that's where the problem is. And those are the events that I do. And I already have a lot of people commenting, Jeff, and you see my social media, commenting, Richie, I want to get involved. I want to do this. I want to do like Wendy sends a text. She wants to find out what, because her health is not what it could be. She's very healthy, but it's not as good as it could be. I tell you what, I do more today with cell power that I've ever done. I get up at 1:30 in the morning, and Levon's right there at the hotel with me. He knows at what time I get up, 1:30 in the morning. Oh, you sleeping now?
He needs
Okay.
sleep. He needs cell power.
Yeah. And he's sleep and rest. I know I get up at 1:30. By 5 o'clock or 5:30, I'm ready to rock. I do sleep early. and I don't eat that much unless 3 or 4 o'clock I eat something, and that's it. So I have a different lifestyle. But as far as productivity, Lee knows, as far as my productivity, it's crazy how much productivity I'm doing, and it's more focused and more determined to do it. So that's why I wanted to have this thing to let the event know also that we're investors, but not only that, to really tell them really the message, because a lot of those guys know me well with the event. I've been around in the car business. I'm 19 years old and I'm 61. You know, that's a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So those guys know me well and see a big change in me and tell me, what do you do? Now I smoke cigars. I take them out to events. We have fun. We're car guys. You know what I mean? But to say, you know, Richie, what are you doing that you got like this? That you're so focused, you're so determined. What happened? I said, this is what happened. This cell power, I don't know what it's got. It's not meant for me. It's meant for athletes. Guys, you know I'm not an athlete. I used to laugh at guys that had big biceps. They're wrapping their freaking brains around their biceps. Ha, 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 ha. Well, the truth of the matter is, right? The truth of the matter is that this stuff, I don't know what it is because I ain't no doctor. I ain't no medical guy. I'm like a freaking car salesman, all right? I don't know what it is, but something's in here that has changed my entire life and diseases. That's what I'm saying.
And okay, and I think the doctor said that he graduated in 1982 as a chiropractor.
Yes.
Okay, so the audience, just to give perspective, and I'm sorry, Doc, but I was 5. So you could see he's actually looking pretty darn good. He must be doing something right. Can you finish before we have we may have another technical problem, you never know, but finish the Trojan horse thought process that you were explaining there.
Yeah, with Richie, his cells were starting to power down because they were becoming insensitive to sugar. But we need sugar in order to make energy, to make power. And so with the peptides being tagged with a glucose molecule, we're bringing the peptide to the cell instantly recognizes that, pulls it in, and when it pulls it in, it automatically pulls in that sugar molecule too. So we got 2 things that the mitochondria needs to power up. And that's why he felt such a difference right away. For the first time, his cells were getting the fuel it needed to power up, where before it was resistant to that sugar that helps the cell make power. So that's really the uniqueness between Cell Power Sport, is the high energy peptides that we have due to that sugar being bonded to the peptide chain. And that's what's giving athletes and patients such an advantage, because, you know, the fountain of youth is the mitochondria in the cell. You get that going, life just starts to happen when the mitochondria comes alive.
Wow.
That's what we were saying. And so, yeah, I would expect Richie to get that type of results very quickly because of that. Wow. And most people don't realize this, Lee. Insulin resistance is rampant. It's actually an epidemic in our society.
That I know. Yeah.
We have athletes. I mean, I'm looking at new research now showing that the blood sugar ranges that are standard right now are still way too high. So when your doctor says that your blood sugar is under 100, you look good. No, you don't. You know, new research is telling that your fasting glucose, when you take it in the morning, it should be no higher than 85. Yeah. I'm hard pressed to find anybody who's below 85. Yeah. That's rampant insulin resistance is. And so we're seeing a powering down of cells where people are just functioning at 50%, 60, 70, 80%. Yeah.
I'm finding that with other things. They seem like it's almost like the medical industry or the doctors, you know, someone took my blood pressure just about a month ago. I was going for life insurance and the blood pressure came back at like 130 over 90 or 88. And he goes, oh, no, that's good. That's good. And I'm like, what? I said, what do you mean that's good? I said, my blood pressure is never this high. And he goes, well, maybe I should take it on the other arm. That'll be better, I think. And why don't you just not move around? And he took it and it was like 109 over my normal blood pressure, you know? And I was like, geez, but why would this guy tell me that that's okay? Like, and I can understand with insulin blood sugar levels, they seem to need to tip the scales because the whole country is sick.
The other thing, Lee, that we need to hammer here is that it's not just impacting the mitochondria with this product. Peptides contain amino acids, a variety of amino acids, and in a pre-digested state, versus a protein, so to say. You need peptides to repair and to regenerate tissue, not just to turn on the mitochondria to create power. Athletes have to repair. They've got to regenerate. We want to help in that process.
Yeah.
We want to be able to feed the muscles.
Wow.
Taking the product before a workout, after workout makes perfect sense. You know, the other thing we don't talk about is the mechanical receptors in your skin, your fingertips. Your muscles have mechanical receptors, your tendons and ligaments. They send signals back to the brain to tell the brain where the body is in position and motion.
Right.
Those receptors send a signal. That signal takes ATP to make that happen.
Wow.
So if we can enhance the function of those mechanical receptors in the ligaments, muscles, and tendons.
Oh, we lost him.
With the brain. For an athlete, that's critically important.
Unbelievable. Richie, what else you got for us here? You're on mute. I believe.
What I got to say here is, thank God Felina pays attention, right? What I got to say is this, doctor. I am blessed that my good friend Jeffrey called us and told me, you need to learn this product and see if it can help you. And that's the reason why we got involved. And then I am blessed to know a person like Jeff that reached out to me. And from there, it scaled. He called me and says, you know, Richie, this company is in different parts of the world. It's really working. I want you to test it, and I want you to do that. After I tested it, I figured out the energy I got and all this. So I am blessed to know Jeff, and then Jeff introduced me to Cell Power. Then we became an investor there and all this. And let me tell you, it's going to scale so deep, and because it's going to help the human race. Mm-hmm. And you know how the food here is bad and all this. This Cell Power, I don't know what it's got in it, because I'm not a doctor by far means. I don't know what it does, okay? I'm a different guy. I'm a sales guy, right? This thing is a game changer, and my industry is aware of it from the day that I talked to the team, and they says, yeah, Richie, we'll do that. We'll back it up. And now we want to start bringing this event nationally, all events, Cell Power, because, you know, it's unbelievable what it did for me. And I'm the type of guy, I don't believe anything anybody tells me unless I test it first. I've been testing this for 5 or 6 years, okay? And the game has changed. My body has changed. I don't know what it is, but something happened. Something happened. I don't know what it is. Miracle, Cell Power, Lee Wolf, Gene Fontana. Something happened to me that is not normal. And I take those pills. Like, you know, when I was a kid, the Flintstone vitamins, I take them more than the Flintstone vitamins, okay? I have bottles all around me, okay? I take them, and I feel wonderful, and my muscles are actually, Arthur, before I left New York, Arthur says, you know, have you seen your biceps? That what you used to laugh about the guys that had their brains wrapped around that? Now you're getting like that, right? He says, that's Cell Power. Richie, that's Cell Power, because I know, Richie, you don't need a lot of meats or nothing. You don't need a lot of proteins, right? That's Cell Power. That's what it does. It helps you build it. And I'm grateful to Cell Power. I'm grateful to my good friend, Jeff. And Doctor, you've been amazing through my journey. Amazing. Thank you. And I'm grateful to every single one of you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rich.
Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen. Jeff, Dr. Gabbard, Richie, great show. Love to do this again in the near future.
Yes.
And good luck on the road, everyone. And we will. Thanks for everyone out there for watching and listening as well.
Thank you, guys. Jeff, I'm going to see you soon, buddy. Have I got a surprise for you when I see you? I got something for you, okay? Better see you soon. Love you, kid. Bye.
Love you. Be good. Thank you, Eric.